What's up, financial Zen masters? Today I'm going to tell you whether you should or should not buy points on your mortgage. But first, welcome to the Financial Zen channel, where the big question is, how can you, a super successful, hardworking overachiever with kids at home and a mortgage to pay, how can you quit your 9-to-5 grind to go pursue your passion while still providing for your family? That's the question. I got your answers. I am Rick Valenzi, a certified financial planner. I'm also the founder of Financial Zen, and I'm also your guide. So, buy points or not buy points? We just got done with an appointment with one of our foundation's members, and they're looking to buy a place. And we talked a little bit about buying points because the mortgage broker they work with wanted them to buy 1/8 of a point. And the question, that's not an uncommon question that we get. And our answer is always a little bit different than what you might expect to hear. So stay tuned. So real quick, how does points work on your mortgage? So just to give you a refresher, when you buy points on your mortgage, you pay 1% on whatever your total mortgage is, whatever the total loan is, to pay down 1/4% on your interest rate or your mortgage rate. So to make the math easy, let's say you're currently looking at a 3% 30-year, doesn't matter the year, 30% mortgage, 3% mortgage rate on $1 million purchase, on $1 million loan. So if you pay $10,000, then they will lower your mortgage rate from 3% to 2.75%. So the question is, does the math make sense? What should you do? And the answer is, it depends. It depends if you're buying for the first time or if you're refinancing. Two very different answers. If you're buying for the first time, you do not want to buy points. You don't want to buy points out of pocket. And the reason why, because what you're effectively doing when you pay extra money to lower your mortgage rate is you're investing that money that you're paying in points, that $10,000 that you're using, you're investing $10,000 in something that will give you a 2.75% return. Now, does a 2.75% return sound good to you? No, that sucks. That's a terrible return on your money. And that's effectively what you're doing when you pay points. So on a new purchase of a home, you want to put down as little as possible, which is without paying mortgage insurance. So that means you're going to put down 20%, right, on your mortgage. That will help you avoid the mortgage insurance, and that will be the most that you put into your equity, right? Because don't forget, in another video, I'll show you why the equity in your home is not money that is not a working asset for you. You'll never. The equity in your home will always be put into your next home, right? Because you just keep upgrading and upgrading and upgrading until you stop, right? And then you stay there until you're dead, and then your kids get the equity in your house. So anyways, another video for another time. So you never buy points on a mortgage, on an original, on a purchase. On a refinancing, you do pay points. And here's how you work it on the refinancing. And we did this with all our Financial Zen members over the last 6 months. Everybody's already been refinanced, so there's nothing doing. If you haven't refinanced, you should, because rates are starting to creep up, and you might miss your opportunity to lock in the lowest mortgage rate you'll ever see for the rest of your life. But anyway, so when you refinance, presumably you have equity in your house, right? So if that $1 million loan, you paid it down a little bit, the house grew a little bit, let's say the house is now worth, $1.2 million or whatever, and the mortgage is now, I don't know, $800,000, right? So you got $400,000 in equity in your house. That means your equity percentage is nice and high. What's the math on that? 1.4, $400,000, 1.2 is what, 33%? So you got 33% equity, right? So that means when you go to refinance, you can buy points and roll them into the loan. So you can't do that when you're initially buying a place because you're already at that maximum 20%, right? For you to buy points, you have to pay out of pocket for it, which is no bueno. But when you have equity in your house and you're refinancing, you can buy points and then just say, hey, put the cost of the points into the loan, right? So if you refinance that $800,000, balance that you have on the remaining balance on your mortgage, you can say, hey, I want to buy points this time. Let's buy maximum points. You actually want to buy the maximum amount of points. Let's buy, 3 points, right? If they'll let you. There's maximums that the lenders won't go past. But let's say they'll let you buy 3 points. So you're going to pay, $24,000, right? So 8 times 8 times 8, $24,000 to pay down 0.75% on your mortgage. But you're borrowing the money you're borrowing that $24,000 because you're going to bake it into the loan. Now it turns into a good deal because you're not paying out of pocket. You're actually borrowing more, which is good. You want to borrow as much money as they'll give you for rates this low and pay it back as slowly as possible. And so it's magical, right? You get less mortgage. And then the super trick, if you're really a financial Zen master, you then take the money that you're saving per month by buying the points and rolling it into the loan, because you will save money. You take that money and then you invest it, right? You invest in your financial Zen funds. You invest it in, wherever you keep your money, wherever your growth money is, and you get that 10% per year, right? And so you borrow a little extra for 2.25, 3%, and you reinvest it in something that's going to return you 10% over the long term if you do it right. So there you go. I know this is something we could dive pretty deep on, and I'll probably make a course out of this actually, because this is I wrote about this last year and there's some interest. But anyways, let me know what you think. Hopefully that blew your mind. Buy points if you're refinancing and roll them into the loan. Don't buy points when you're buying the place, initially. Okay, that's it. All right. Hopefully that was enlightening. More stuff like that coming. Make sure you subscribe so you can catch it all. Don't forget to like the video, especially if you learned something and if it opened your eyes to something new. And leave comments. Does this make sense? Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know what you think. I'd be really interested on this one, because this is not standard issue sort of financial planning advice. This is sort of a Rick Valenzi thing and a financial Zen thing. So I'd love to hear what you think. All right. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.